Hello, my friends, how are you? Hiker Dave NE here. I know this is another short video. I'm working out the kinks with the laptop thing, and my buddy Gary Schutte has been really helping me out a lot. We're gonna work it out. I'll figure it out. But in the meantime, I just wanted to talk about something briefly about hikers, backpackers, campers, fishermen, hunters, and how people out in the forest are completely oblivious when it comes to the topic or subject of Sasquatch. And I remember as a kid when I was young, in my early teens, I was fortunate enough to live on the outskirts of a big city. And so I was kind of out of the way from the city, lived in a rural neighborhood. And we had forest right across the street from our house. And I spent countless hours, me and my friends, out in the woods. And I was thinking, when I would be in the woods, I never kind of would be scared and stuff like that. And then flash forward to 10, 15 years ago, I got back into hiking again. And when I learned about this subject and started to look into it more and study up on it and stuff like that, I found that I had times when I was in the woods that I was really scared. I was frightened. I don't even know why. I felt like I was in danger, or I should get the heck out of there. I mean, I have been scared out of the woods before in the past 10, 12 years, where I just completely turn around and abandon my hike completely. And I kind of was thinking, wow, I wonder if that's psychological because of what I presumably know now, what I didn't know then, back when I was a teenager. And this is just my opinion about Sasquatch. I believe Sasquatch is real, and I'm going to go with that for right now. But, and I would think, boy, there are times, is it because I know that Sasquatch knows that I know? So they know that I know. And then in turn, they do things to scare me or to get me away from the area that they're in or something like that. And I thought, boy, when I was a kid, I would spend so much time in the woods. And the more I thought about it, I remember back as a kid that across the street from my woods, we would go out there as kids. I had a group of buddies, and we were told by people in the area, be careful of the wild packs of dogs, or a wild pack of dogs that live in this particular part of the forest. And so I do remember being out there and all of a sudden being very afraid. And I attributed it to a wild pack of dogs because that I could wrap my mind around. I never thought of Sasquatch back then, but looking back, I remember a handful of times I used to cut through that forest to my friend's house. It was about a 15 to 20 minute walk through the woods. I'd follow a few trails, and then there was a little area by his house. Behind his house was the woods, and there was construction debris. People would dump it, like a bunch of jabronis. They would be dumping construction debris and bricks and rock and whatever. And when I would get to that, I could see it. I knew I was right near my buddy's house. And I remember a couple of times that I ended up breaking into a full sprint through the woods to get out of the woods because I felt that the pack of dogs was chasing me, or they were watching me or following me. And it made me think, it makes me wonder. I wonder if Sasquatch was following me, or me and a couple of my buddies, through the woods and watching us or pacing us or something. And it made me think, flash forward to today, hikers, campers, backpackers, like I said, fishermen, huntermen. And, do they get that and they write it off and just put it in the back of their mind? They don't think about it. I would like to know. See, it's hard to say this on this channel that, hey, if you have no belief in Sasquatch, are you a hunter or a camper or a fisherman that have had things happen to you when you were in the woods and you didn't say to yourself, oh, that's Bigfoot watching me. You just thought maybe it was a bear or a mountain lion or wolves, coyotes, or something other than Sasquatch. And, upon further review, when I kept thinking about this subject, I thought of people that are out there in the forest for years and years of their life and never give Sasquatch another thought, but maybe have encounters and they don't even know that they've had an encounter, and they chalk it up to something, like just a wild animal that, and they won't think to themselves, and of course they don't think to themselves, oh, that was a Bigfoot that just whistled. Like I remember back as a kid, as a teenager, being in those woods where the pack of wild dogs were. I remember hearing kind of howls and barks and just assuming back then that, oh, there's that pack of wild dogs that my friend's parents warned me about, or, a friend's older brother would tell us, hey, be careful in the forest, there's that wild pack of dogs. I never saw a wild pack of dogs, and I don't remember any of my friends ever seeing a wild pack of wild dogs. But yet it was like a known thing in my neighborhood, at least among my friend group, that be careful of those wild dogs. And it's something, food for thought to think of, before I got into this subject, when I very first started my channel, 10, 11, 12, I don't remember how long ago, I was just hiking. I would hike 7, 8 miles a day in this national park where I lived, never giving it a second thought when I first started my channel. It was literally just Hiker Dave. And then I started watching videos on YouTube about hiking and backpacking and minimalism, and those videos led me to like Les Stroud Survivor Man. And then watching Les Stroud Survivor Man, I got into bushcraft and stuff like that. And then that, all of a sudden, I had Bigfoot videos coming up on my feed on my YouTube channel or my YouTube account. And then I started to get curious, and then that started the ball rolling. And here I am today. And I think back, I would put earbuds in when I first started hiking again as I got to be an adult. Completely oblivious to my surroundings, just trucking through the woods, and I was loving it and had the music up loud, and I could have been tapped on the shoulder by a Sasquatch or close enough that I was oblivious to it. So, anywho, I'd like to hear from someone that spends time in the forest, that has had that feeling before, not seeing anything. I'm not saying that I saw this dog man or a Bigfoot or werewolves or whatever, but if you've been out there just on a casual hike or camping and for some reason had that feeling come over you that you should leave or you should turn around, and for some reason, why is that? And I thought, is it Bigfoot knows that you know? And then I thought, no, it can't be, because when I was a teenager, I didn't give a second thought to Sasquatch, but I still had those handful of occasions where I was very afraid. And I mean, I knew where I was in the woods and all that, and it wasn't like I was getting lost, but it was that same feeling that I had years and years later. And it makes me wonder. Anyways, you guys, I know this is a short video. I am trying. This is my Hewlett-Packard laptop, brand new. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm tempted to just go live whenever I want to make a video, but I'm not sure if I want to do that yet or not. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for clicking. I do appreciate it, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. And don't be jealous of my editing skills. Watch this.